Hello, people. How's it going? Just trying to adjust the screen. Anyway, how's it going? Oh, it's been a hot week. It was 98 yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago. It was hot yesterday, too. It's been a hot, long, hot 2 weeks, actually. But anyway, it's, this video may not be very long because I don't have a whole lot of books right now, but we'll see. Killable root beer is not that bad. I can't find any barks anywhere, so I got some killable root beer. All right, I'll do that for last. Maybe. I've never read this book, so I got it anyway. So I've never read the Helen Keller Story of My Life book. I've never read it. So I was at Half Price Bookstore today, so I figured, you know what? For $2 or $1 actually in this case, I'll buy it and read it. Anyway. Yeah, well, I didn't get a whole lot of books since the last video. But I'll order some in a little bit. I needed this. One, I do like this novel. I do like this book. Believe it or not, I do like A Christmas Carol. I like the idea. I don't know, get me started. But now, Christmas Carol and other Christmas stories by Dickens. I like Dickens. I like Tale of Two Cities. It might be his only novel I like. But I like his short stories. I have this. I have also one on his ghost stories. I like Dickens. He was an interesting guy. Died young. I think he died my age right now, 58. But anyway. I like when Doctor Who met Charles Dickens was a good episode. That's with Billy Piper and Christopher Eccleston, the Ninth Doctor? Yeah, Ninth. But anyway, I liked him as the Doctor. He wasn't too bad as Doctor Who. But I liked that episode. I like the episodes where he meets actual historical people. I liked him when he met Agatha Christie, too. In a very earlier episode, he met H.G. Wells. But that was classic Doctor Who. But Dickens was interesting. This book I found when I was living in Orlando. This is the Ants, Indians, and Little Dinosaurs, a celebration of man and nature in the 75th anniversary of Natural History magazine. I used to read it all the time. I used to read Stephen Jay Gould's stuff all the time. I like Natural. I like the museum. I've been there once that I remember. I remember that museum. I love that museum. I like this book. It's the history of the magazine and such, and the writers and the scientists and the explorers and stuff. But anyway, I like science, people. I've always liked science. I like the Natural History Museum. It's been a hot week. I think I was almost getting heat exhaustion at work. It was so hot. I mean, literally. I think I sweated about 20 pounds this week. At least it feels like it. I'm pretty sure I didn't lose 20 pounds. But it certainly felt like I sweated 20-odd pounds. Book on Martin Luther. Yes, I know. However, he was still an interesting guy. I don't know if he kickstarted the Reformation, though. I know he started in Germany, but there were other people who were slowly also starting it. I mean, he was more or less the catalyst, I will give you, but the Reformation was a long time already in the making. John Hus was already doing it. Wycliffe was already doing it. Probably some earlier Christians were doing it. The Waldensians were still around, I believe. But Martin Luther, visionary reformer, he's an interesting guy. Very German. Very everything. I liked it. Interesting book. I haven't read that book yet. I forget what the book's called. It was a biography of Here I Stand. But I can't remember what the author's name is. It's in here somewhere, I think. Well, no, I don't have the biography. What I have is his collection of commentaries about stuff. I used to have his biography, but that was in the last library that's no longer existing. So I have to buy that at some point. But I like Luther. I like Tyndale more so, because I am reading his biography at the moment, William Tyndale. I like him. I'm more interested in him. John Knox, the lesser known reformers, because they kind of stayed in their area for the root beer. Never drink root beer when I'm doing this. That's all there is to it. My favorite guy, my second favorite political type, Churchill, Roosevelt, and Grant are probably the top three favorite, probably historical characters. You know, Grant would be in the top five. I always have a problem with the third one. Churchill and Roosevelt will always be first and second. Mostly Roosevelt and Churchill. But I like Paul Johnson. He's a good writer. He wrote about history of the Jews. He's written about Churchill, of course. He's written about world history, United States history. I like Churchill. I always have. I always will. I don't care what the naysayers say. If it hadn't been for him, Great Britain would have fallen to the Nazis. They would have. He kept that country going. Darkest Hour is a great movie with why do I keep forgetting these people's names? It really bugs me when I can't figure all these names again. This is ridiculous. Anyway, it'll come to me. It always does. It always does. I found this book when I was living in Florida too. I like sharks. Yes, I know. Yes, Mr. Cooper made. But this is about sharks, of course, naturally. This is the other shark book that I had ordered a few weeks ago. I always liked this book. My favorite biography of a missionary was this one. He was the reason in my very early Christian life, I thought about being a missionary. I don't know I would have been a very good one. I just don't think I would have been, but I like this book. I think it's a great book. I think today's missionaries, I'm sorry, I think have it easy compared to what this man went through. But I did. I think him, William Carey, Livingston. I'm trying to think, there's one more. Well, I have all my books over there. I have to go later. But I did. I think early on I wanted to be a missionary. I didn't want to be an evangelist because that just seemed boring. I wanted to go someplace. I guess being a military kid, I liked going all over the place. But he was one of those influences that made me want to be a missionary. I'm not sure if I would have been a good one. I don't know if I would have had I don't have an ability with languages. I mean, I love languages. I love learning them. But I don't remember them very well. But very interesting guy, very interesting book. Church really should learn its own history, because I think the church is forgetting a lot of its own history. It's too busy being the church, the community center called the church, instead of the Church of Christ. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get into it today, I promise. I won't go into a tirade like I did last time. Maybe. Gary Oldman, that's who it was. Gary Oldman played in The Darkest Hour. He played Churchill. He deserved to win his Oscar. That was a good movie. I liked that movie. That movie deserved Best Picture, not that stupid water or whatever film, which has been done before, called The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Hollywood does not make movies anymore. They make propaganda pieces. They don't make stories anymore. They don't do anything that even comes close to making good movies anymore, because they can't. It's because politics has ruined everything. But Gary Oldman, I like him. He was good as Beethoven. He was good as Dracula. He was good as Churchill. He was good trying to kill Natalie Portman in The Professional. I know I'm forgetting one other movie. Oh, The Fifth Element. That's another good movie he's in. I like him in that. I read this book when I was taking horticulture at Century College. I was into plants, so I started reading books on botanists and on plants and stuff. Interesting guy. Unfortunately, he was one of those Christians who thought he could combine evolution and creation into one, and that you can't do that because they're contradictory to each other. Sorry, people. You can't have theistic evolution. It doesn't work. God does not work through theistic evolution. It's either creation or evolution. Can't have both. But still an interesting guy, despite he was wrong. He's why I do like botany on occasion. I do like to watch wildflowers, wild plants. To me, they're fascinating. I have an interest in everything. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm curious about the world I'm living on, including the people I have to put up with and live with. Anyway, but yes, very good book. Interesting guy. Interesting guy. In this book, which is huge, this was only because if you remember the movie Patton, you remember the scene where Monty is talking to the guy in the bathroom about the invasion of Sicily? This is the guy he was talking to. This is Beetlesmith. This is the guy that Monty was discussing the all-important invasion of Sicily during World War II in the bathroom. And this is the guy who he was talking to. So I have known nothing about this guy. And this book is big, people. Goodness gracious, you can knock somebody over this thing. Another book on tape about the whale ship Essex, where the story of Moby Dick came from. I have the book over there somewhere. But anyway, I have one more book to show, which is going to horrify some of you. Going to scandalize some of you. I really hope so. I hate to buy a book that isn't going to do anything. Yes, people. I've also read it. Twice. Lolita. The other reason I read this book also was I was writing a story about such things. If there was ever a book that tries to rationalize pedophilia, let alone other sexual things, let alone whatever else you want to call it, it's this book. This book is in a lot of ways what the story I'm working on right now is about, rationalizing. Because it's not badly written. It's not pornographic. It really doesn't describe anything. If the subject matter bothers people, that should bother people. But I tried to read this. First time I tried to read this book, I got bored. Second time I tried to read it, I figured, I might as well just finish it. It was okay. I'm sorry. I keep reading these books that are supposed to be scandalous or supposed to be these classics like To Kill a Mockingbird or something else to put on these high pedestals. And when I read them, it's like, okay, I don't get it. Yawn. This wasn't a yawn. This was more like, okay, I get the problem. I see it. But it's not that. My computer keeps telling me offline. I'm going to assume I wasn't offline. It keeps telling me I was. But anyway, I'm using this book and the story I'm writing right now also as the prime example of rationalizing the alternate lifestyle, the difference between pornography and erotic fiction, and a few other things. This book really is how to rationalize pedophilia, how to rationalize certain sexual practices, how to rationalize anything, and convince yourself that you're the victim when you get caught. It's not badly written, but it is a rationalization. Anyway, but yes, I have read it. I've seen the movie, the original, James Mason, Peter Sellers, and Shelley Winters version of the movie. It's the thing I don't think I've seen the whole film though. I can't remember if I saw the whole movie, or that also bored me, or I saw parts of it. Because I remember seeing it. I just don't remember finishing watching it. I'd have to see it again. If I remember correctly, I don't think I was all that thrilled with the movie. But one of which is they changed the age of the girl from 12 to 14. James Mason was good. The acting was fine. The few differences they made were fine. But it takes a lot to say. I think this book would be very hard to put as a movie. Not now, not in this day and age. But 1960s when this came out, and when it was made in the 60s, well, this came out in the 50s. But, by the way, I have read this book. I already have this one. This is a biography of him. I find him interesting. I find him more interesting than what he wrote. He's one of those authors that I find interesting, or I find what he wrote so-so. I mean, I do have a collection of the short stories over there too, but eventually, I think the problem is that I'm trying to figure out how to. So it makes the point of what I'm trying to make, which is that both sides, the two people, one literally one represents pornography and one represents erotic fiction, and they're the same side. Two sides of the same coin, which is the name of the story, and basically both sides are rationalizing. The whole point of the story, major point of the story, is rationalizing what we know instinctively there's a problem, but we like it, so therefore we're going to rationalize it. There are other aspects of the story too, but that's kind of the main focus of the story I'm writing. Kind of. I'm trying to keep. It's also about redheads. It originally was a story strictly about redheads, and somehow, as I've been writing over the last few weeks, it's morphed into something else, which is what happens when I rewrite stuff. But anyway, I'm going to post this now, as I said I would. I'm going to try to post something else later today, but I don't think I have time. So, well, people, behave yourselves, because you know I'm not going to. Later. Bye.